So we're back after a quick pit stop, little wet the whistle a little bit, but I believe that where we left off was that baby number 2, Josette Marie Loeffler, born at Aberdeen, right?
Born in Aberdeen Proving Ground, Kirk Army Hospital, which is
On
now a clinic.
March 7th, 1967.
March 7th, 1967, at like about 2 in the morning.
So that makes, me and her kind of what they the slang Irish twins, born less than a year apart.
That's right, 5 days less than a year.
That must have been something.
And of course, in a true military style, we were now living out in
Bel Air.
Bel Air, which is a suburb, maybe 10, 15 miles away, and it was still pretty much a military community, so we had to figure out what we were going to do if it happened in the middle of the night, and sure enough it did. And so the Steels took over your care of you.
Who is that?
While we're at the hospital.
Who?
The Steels.
Okay.
Another military person.
And wait, what was I going to bring up about that? No, I can't remember. What the heck was I? Oh, were you a captain yet or no?
Let's see. Captain was no, because Captain came, I think, 13 or 15 months after.
First lieutenant.
Right.
Okay. And then.
But it was interesting. While we were out in Bel Air, that's where we had Josette's baptism, right out in Bel Air, and I was talking with Mommy, and I said, "Gee, I really ought to get involved in the parish, And so I attended a Holy Name meeting. And when I came home, I said, "Guess what, Rosemary? I'm president of Holy Name."
It sounds like we're getting a trend. We're getting a trend.
Quite an
national band director.
I was so glad when they got housing for me on post. I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
What was the name of the parish?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out myself. I can't remember.
All right. Well, while we're doing that, then baby number 3 came along, right?
Baby number 3 was Suzanne. Yep.
Suzanne Michelle Loeffler.
Yep. The babies were coming along fast and furious by this point.
That was what, September 20?
Mommy and I attended a natural family planning clinic in Baltimore. And when, it's funny, when Mommy became pregnant with Suzanne, she said, I knew it.
That's funny.
I said, oh, we did something wrong? No, it turned out we did everything right. We got Suzanne.
September 15th, 1968.
Yeah, which was exactly 8 days before I was scheduled to leave the Army. So now we're thinking to ourselves, holy cow, this could come later and we have to pay all the money associated with the hospital and the doctor and whatnot. So I asked them if I could extend for 30 days, and they said sure. I mean,
That's great.
Really great. These people were great. So I didn't need it because she came 8 days before I was scheduled to leave.
Now, was she early or was she on time?
I think she was pretty much, I think a week early.
Okay.
I think a week early.
And who were your friends back then? Who would you...
Well, our main friends were
socialize
the Bellantonis, Roz and Mary Bellantoni, who I sponsored when they came, and he became the adjutant for BRL, Ballistic Research Laboratories. And they arrived at Aberdeen Proving Ground with Mary in her 9th month.
Wow.
And Mommy and I went home for a weekend, and when we came back, we found out that poor Mary, the baby had died because the cord was wrapped around the neck, and
that's very sad.
So yeah, but they were in love with you guys, the two of them. I mean, Mary especially just loved you and Josette.
So what was it?
And,
3?
You would think that after she had a tragedy like this, that she might be a little more reluctant. Yeah. Not at all. And they subsequently had children and everything.
So we were 2, 1, and newborn at that point, right? I think so.
After Suzanne?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5, 1.5, and newborn.
Wow. All right, so you leave the Army, and what do we do then?
Speaking of that, I mentioned the Bellantonis. One year we were going to Beatrice's house in Yonkers, and we're driving down the main main drag, Yonkers Boulevard, and there's this big sign, Roz Bellantoni for judge for children's.
Really?
Yeah, so we called them, just to say hello, and they were very happy.
That's good. And they, I guess that,
We
of course,
never got together.
but they lived in Yonkers, though.
Yeah, they were up in.
Okay.
They were up in Westchester County.
Okay,
Metro
right,
was Yonkers County.
right.
But
So after you left the Army,
nice couple.
then what?
After I left the Army, I had to go to my real job, and that, of course, I was encouraged to apply to the federal government, so I did, and I applied to become a GS-12 economist. So since I had a master's degree and all but dissertation, I figured that was a shoo-in. Turned down.
Sounds
So somebody suggested, well, why don't I instead apply for operations research analyst? I said, okay. So I did, and you had to give them 2 examples of work that you'd done that was possibly related to this, and so I gave them something, I don't remember what. But it just happened that 1 floor down in our building was John Intelkoffer, who was on the panel that
doesn't hurt.
Approved
Doesn't
and
hurt.
disapproved. Next thing you know, I was approved for a GS-12 operations research analyst, which was good because it was supposed to be one of these, jobs that were in scarce supply, and so they paid them more to start out. So I actually made out a few $100.
What were you making?
I started at Fort Monmouth earning $12,580. Still
Woo.
remember it to this day.
A rich man.
And here we were.
Well, before you get there, were there any other sites that you were possibly going to, or was it always Fort Monmouth centric?
Oh no, I was planning to work at Prudential for all of my life.
Which was where?
In Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
Because I'd worked there several summers, and I enjoyed it. And so I had my interview, and before they completed much of the interview, they decided to give me a complete physical. So I said, well, they must be hiring me if giving me a physical. So the guy that interviewed me, wasn't the greatest in the world.
Right.
So I don't think I did too well. I don't think I answered some of his questions too well. So, Mr. Loeffler, what do you have in mind for a salary? So I remember that Aberdeen was going to pay me $12,580. So I said, well, about $12,000. He looked at me like I'd lost my mind. I said, Mr. Loeffler, I don't even know if we're going to hire you, but we're certainly not going to offer you more than 10.
Wow.
And so I walked